What is up, everyone, and welcome back to my channel for another Hot Toys figure preview video. Today we are going to be reviewing the newly released Joker, his Batman Imposter version, Artisan edition from obviously The Dark Knight. We are doing Heath Ledger's Joker. This figure was released for pre-order a couple of weeks ago. He was announced a couple of weeks ago, right? And I do apologize. I know I'm a little bit late with this figure, but unfortunately Sideshow barely posted him for pre-order on Friday. I'm not sure why they took a long time with this guy, but I did want to wait until Sideshow posted the figure for pre-order so that we can do a full detailed figure preview. We could go over accessories, we could go over pricing, shipping expectancy, and things like that. This is one of those figures where as he gets announced, he's pretty much ready to be shipped out, which is August 2024, possibly early 2025. And honestly, guys, I am not surprised by it at all. Look, one thing that you guys should know about Hot Toys, and one thing that I've learned myself ever since I've been a collector, is that they're always gonna have a crush, or they're in love with Iron Man figures as well as the Dark Knight figures. So no matter what the timing is, they will always find a way to release a figure for the Dark Knight trilogy or for Iron Man figures, right? So again, today we get this Joker Batman Imposter version, right? Basically, again, and Hot Toys says it themselves, this is just an idea that they came up with. This figure doesn't have any type of origins as far as a movie, TV series, comic story. Obviously, there's plenty of comics where Batman becomes the Joker or vice versa, like the Batman Who Laughs and things like that. So that's always been in existence. But as far as Heath Ledger's Joker becoming the Dark Knight or vice versa, that's one of those things that pretty much Hot Toys kind of came up with, right? And this figure, honestly, guys, I would describe it as a recyclable figure. And what I mean by that is that pretty much Hot Toys, just like what they did with Obi-Wan Kenobi, his Clone Wars version, they did it into a Mandalorian version, right? They did the same thing here. Pretty much they just got the Dark Knight figure, his regular figure, they took the head out, they put the Joker head sculpt that they're doing for his regular Artisan edition that was released last year. They pretty much just painted the regular Dark Knight suit, and voila, we have a new figure, right? So that's pretty much what they did, right? Again, it's just the Batman suit itself with the Joker head, right? Head sculpt. So it's nothing too creative, right? But at the same time, me personally, I'm actually okay with the idea. At the end of the day, Joker is always a very interesting character, one of the best villains, if not the best villain in the history of comic book stories, or whatever you guys want to call it. And then obviously the Dark Knight itself, right? Now the figure itself does look pretty nice, so I have no issues with it. So I did want to go ahead and pretty much take a look at the images of the figure itself. So the head sculpt itself is pretty much the same one that Hot Toys has done for the regular Artisan edition for this Joker. His regular edition was released last year, if I'm not mistaken, and he should be pretty much ready to be shipped out. So this release of this Joker Imposter version is kind of expected at this time. It's not a surprise, because again, this means that most likely the regular Joker Artisan edition should be ready to be shipped out. Now this figure was an exclusive by Hot Toys, so I think only 3,000 figures were released for this guy. And one thing that I noticed is that usually when we get a new figure and it's in a exclusive version, I feel like we run out of the figures so quickly that sometimes we don't even get a chance to pre-order, right? And that's how I know sometimes that the demand of a figure is really high. For this guy right here, I remember that I did purchase, obviously I already purchased him, right? And I do have him up for pre-order. But if I'm not mistaken, I got out of Sideshow Collectibles and I went back in an hour later, and the guy was still up for pre-order, right? There was no wait list yet to be announced. So what that tells me is that, yeah, there's some interest with the guy, but not as highly as possible other new figures, right? So pretty much what this figure has is, again, the Batman suit itself, right? Just with just painted, and obviously purple, red, and green to represent the Joker's colors. We obviously get the Heath Ledger head sculpt with Artisan hair, right? And then the accessories, if I'm not mistaken, they do represent the Joker, but also Batman himself. So we get some batarangs, but we then get some guns and pistols for the Joker. We get some of his cards. We get a really nice display base. That is something that I really like a lot, the display base. And then we get also, of course, some pieces of hand accessories to go along with the figure itself. So obviously this video is not really to talk about like how, if the figure looks like the character or things like that, because obviously this is a recyclable figure, as I mentioned before. So this Heath Ledger Joker face sculpt is pretty much one that I had already seen last year. And by the way, I didn't get to really talk about that because whenever I purchased the guy, I really wasn't into doing YouTube videos, right? But when I did purchase him, I was very excited with this head sculpt. It is by far the best head sculpt for Heath Ledger's Joker that Hot Toys has ever done. The hair piece looks absolutely amazing, especially since it's Artisan edition. And obviously, once we get this figure along with the regular Heath Ledger Joker, we'll see how that Artisan hair turns out to be, right? That rooted hair, right? But for now, the images does look nice. And again, as I mentioned before, the suit itself is pretty much exactly the same as the one that we get for the Dark Knight. It's just that the paint applications, right, with the purple, green, and red color, right? So there really isn't anything to talk about as far as the look of the figure itself, because we're just getting recyclable parts, if I can say it that way. Pretty much this video is just to talk about the idea of Hot Toys doing this imposter version. Me personally, I don't mind it. I like it. I mean, I think it's a very interesting figure to have. I mean, obviously I already purchased them, right? So obviously I that does mean that I like them, and so I did, right? I do like the idea. Do I think this is the greatest idea in the world? No, I don't think so, but I don't think it's a bad idea either. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, if you guys don't mind. Let me know if this is a figure that you guys are gonna go ahead and pick up, right? Or if you guys are excited, or if you guys think this is a waste of a figure. To me, I think all opinions are, understandable, right? Because obviously the figure itself, it is a very unique one for sure. Now again, as I mentioned before, that display base does look really nice. I really love the smile right here and red painting across the display base, right? So I think it's a nice one. Obviously, as I mentioned before, the Joker itself does have some accessories with his bombs, some pistols, and some cards, right? So those are things that we should expect with the figure itself. The paint applications, right? The good thing about the paint applications is that I cannot tell that this suit was black before with these paint applications. So that is a good thing, at least, right? That we don't, that we can't tell it's the Batman suit as far as the coloring, right? Obviously we know it's the Batman suit because of the, his chest logo and obviously the way that it's made up, right? But as far as the paint applications, I do think that they did a really good job with that, so I don't have an issue with that at all. And so pretty much that's all I really have to say, right? Again, as I mentioned before, it's an interesting idea for sure. I personally like it. I don't love it, but it's a figure that I'm definitely going to go ahead and pick up, right? As you guys can see, we get a batarang with some purple and red coloring, so that looks pretty nice in my personal opinion. And then again, as I mentioned before, right, he has a couple of pistols himself, right? But those pistols are the Joker's, not Batman's, right? So the only real accessory that we get for Batman as far as the weapons that he has is these batarangs themselves. So that would pretty much be it, right? And then as I mentioned before, right, so the rooted hair implantation on the figure itself, which again we'll be able to tell better once we actually get the figure in person. The images look amazing, but again, in person, how is it gonna look, right? Now that face sculpt is absolutely amazing, as I mentioned before, right? It is the same one that we're gonna get for the normal rooted hair Heath Ledger Joker, right? So to me, the face sculpt itself, I have no issues with it. It looks absolutely amazing. To me, it is by far the best Hot Toys Heath Ledger Joker they have ever made, and I can't wait to get his regular version. My god, that thing looks absolutely awesome. right? And this one, again, as I mentioned before, it's a good idea, right? So I guess I'm sort of excited, right? The face sculpt should have also rotating eyes, right, as it's mentioned right here, right? So that's pretty much kind of an obvious, right? Every single figure has rotating eyes at this point, and I'm glad that they've gone that route as well. So the Batsuit dominated by purple and green, the Joker elements, right? So that's pretty much what we mentioned before, right? If you guys look at the suit itself, some parts do kind of look black itself, but where the paint is put at and all the ha-ha-has and things like that, I really can't tell that the suit was black before. So I do think that Hot Toys did a really good job with all these paint applications. So pretty much just to kind of go over what we're getting again. So we're getting the figure itself with the separate rolling eyeballs, the bombs themselves, the batarangs, cards, a couple of weapons here and there, the splatter design, the display base, right, that to me is really nice, and again a couple of hand displays to pretty much hold those guns, cards, and batarangs and things like that. So pretty much that is it for the figure. As I mentioned before, an exclusive figure. The pricing, I believe, was around 410, which I think it's pretty high, but again, because it is an artisan edition figure, I guess it's understandable, right, if I can say it that way. So pretty much this is what we get with the figure itself. As I mentioned before, guys, let me know in the comments what you guys think about this Joker Batman Imposter version. Let me know if you guys think this is a good idea, and if you guys would like Hot Toys to do more figures like this for other specific characters. Also, if you guys are interested in purchasing the figure, I am going to go ahead and include the link to Sideshow Collectibles. Even though the guy is not up for pre-order anymore, there is a wait list, so in case there's any available, I will include the link just so that way you guys can go ahead and join the wait list if you guys are interested in getting this, guys. So for now, guys, this is going to be it for this figure preview video of the Joker Batman Imposter version. As always, guys, thank you so much for supporting the channel. If it is the first time that you're watching me, feel free to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and hit the notifications bell so that way you're always updated with any videos that I drop in the near future. I do want to remind you guys that I am on TikTok and Instagram as well, where I post daily images and updates of my collection, and also about videos that I have coming up soon as well. So once again, guys, thank you so much for tuning in onto this new video, and I will see you next time.